Inspire Data is a program typically utilized to organize and present quantitative data in classrooms. First, find the All Programs menu and scroll up to the Inspire Data icon. A menu should pop up that looks something like this. There are some tutorials stored in the Learn to Use section, and although Inspire Data is relatively easy to use, it's nice to have a starting point. You can create a new file or open previously saved files. There are some convenient pre-made databases, which are great for a simple school assignment, or students could conduct their own surveys online, which is very interesting because they get to learn the process. Okay, if you open a new database, this is the screen that will come up. You have your fields, which are your columns, and your records, which are your rows. On the top menu bar, there are buttons to add a record or a field. You can also change the fonts for your convenience, or if a student has slightly vision impaired, it helps. Now, to type in a label for your field, simply click on the top and type it in. You can click the top left icon to select all of your data, or double click to change the icon itself, which is a creative point for students. And since we will do a project on cats, might also select a cat. One can add text or numbers in each cell. For breed, kind of breed of cat is an Abyssinian. Now, it appears to be too long of a name to fit, but you can simply adjust the width of the column. Now, for age, a number would be the simplest way to qualify the data. A little in the taskbar, there's an undefined drop menu. Now, obviously, you see many options or many types of data you can add. For age, a simple number would suffice, and it is a single value. So then you go and you can type it in. If you do not type in a number, it'll say it is not valid. If you exit the cell, the incorrect data that you entered will not stay in the cell, which is less confusing for students, and they'll obviously see a mistake. For weight, a little bit more complicated. You might not want just a single value number, but if you go under Format, you can actually adjust the numbers. So let's say you want only no decimal places. You can eliminate the tedious task of rounding, which students in upper middle school and high school should obviously know how to do. They can focus on higher cognitive thought processes. So you can simply add the data and it will automatically run for you, which is convenient. Now, gender, to reduce the likelihood of making a mistake, you can type in or choose text, but you can choose from a list. And Inspire Data contains several kinds of lists. If you go to validation, you will see that you can limit the number of characters or pick list. Now, obviously, you have countries, provinces, gender, frequency, days of the week. For our purposes, gender would suffice. Now, if you type in male or female, it'll register. But if you type in an incorrect value or make a typo, it will not register. Under the table from the menu bar, you can also publish a survey. Such projects can be highly motivating for students. This screen will pop up, and we will need an ID, but for right now, let us open a previously made database. Click File and Open Database. They have databases previously made and highly in-depth for virtually any topic and any discipline, even one on cats. They also automatically open a section for notes, which is great for teachers if they make a worksheet. Now you can put this data on a graph by clicking the Switch to Plot View button in the top left. At first it seems highly disorganized, but on the bottom toolbar there is a section for labeling, and you can label each data point by the field. Let's say name, which in this case for cats is very convenient, but you can also use weight, pad color, eye color, any other field that you have formulated. You can also color them. And let's say you did weight, it will have a gradated graph or on top that will show you what's heavy and what's not. You can also adjust the font again, which is useful for any student with a vision impairment. On the bottom, there's also 4 different kinds of graph views. The first kind we will go over is a stack plot. The stack plot graph is typically used as bar graphs. On the bottom left, just above the toolbar, you have 2 buttons. One can change what kind of graph, and you can also change your axis by clicking on the axis. You can also change whether the graph is viewed in bar form or icon form. Another graph is called your axis plot, which has your typical X and Y axis. Now on the left, almost in the bottom left corner, you can choose to view your data in a continuous form or in a segmented range form. You can also, in other options, you can show the mean and the median. And on the just beneath that, there's a button that will show the line graph or line of best fit. Now this takes a lot of time out of students doing tedious work, and so they can focus on trends and higher level thinking. You can also compute functions such as mean. On the right end of the toolbar, you can see a button for field, and which, let's say we select tail length, and an operation button to the left, and it will automatically calculate the mean. Another kind of graph is a pie chart. Now on the left, you can see different menu for different kinds of pie graphs, including putting them on axes. First, I would recommend selecting a field such as age. The icons, which symbolize data points, will automatically realign themselves into the appropriate grouping. And you can also get specific data by clicking on the icons. Now, you can change your axes by simply clicking on them, and the graph will adjust accordingly. This is great because students can really view their data in several different ways. While this may be very visually appealing for students, they may want to analyze a specific portion of the graph. To do so, simply click and drag your mouse over the desired sections, right-click, and choose the zoom option. Here, an individual pie graph containing only the desired sections will appear. Another interesting plot is the Venn diagram plot. Now, in each Venn diagram, you'll have a field, an operation, and a value. So let's say you choose gender. Now for written values, you can either do equals, not equals, or contains. Contains is useful for lists, and simply choose your value. Now on top, there is information about each Venn diagram, where you can also modify your data. If you click the View section, you can even perform calculations, which will not be useful for the gender function. To add a Venn diagram, simply go to the bottom left button and click the Add button. Inspire Data develops the students' visual literacy while saving teachers costs on materials and improving production time. For numerical values, such as body length, you can also incorporate other functions such as less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, etc. And when you do click on the value, it'll give you a valid range. Therefore, students can easily compare quantitative and qualitative data. Another function is the Show Note button on the bottom right of the toolbar, and a teacher can easily leave, or students could leave, notes. Right to the adjacent button is Open Slide Sorter, where you can capture a slide, and it'll basically organize any sort of graphs and put them on the right column. Then you go to Slideshow and hit Start Slideshow, and you can easily scroll through your slides. Inspire Data is a very convenient tool for students to organize and present their data. Thank you.